Hey folks, my name is Jim Aspel. I'm a board certified workers' compensation attorney in Farmington, Connecticut. And today I wanted to answer the question that we get asked quite a bit. Can I keep my job and still settle my workers' compensation claim with my employer? The general rule of thumb in Connecticut is that you cannot settle your workers' compensation case and still continue to work for the employer where you got injured. The rationale behind that has never really made a ton of sense to me, but the fear is that if somebody has an injury on the job and they go off and they settle their workers' compensation claim, say they settle their case for $50,000 or whatever the settlement figure may be, then they come back to work, they start telling people on the job, hey, I had this work-related injury and I just settled my case, I got $50,000, then the fear is that all these other employees are going to start suddenly having mysterious work injury claims, and the employers or their employers' insurance companies have a great fear of that happening. Again, I don't know that that's ever actually really been a thing, but that's the fear. So the general rule of thumb is that if you are settling out your case for workers' compensation, you're not going to continue working for that employer where you got hurt. Now, there's one exception that I am aware of. Typically, Walmart will settle out a workers' compensation claim with a current employee and allow that person to keep on working. I don't know if that's the policy across the United States, but at least here in Connecticut where we practice, generally they will allow you to close out an open workers' compensation case and continue working at Walmart. So that's something that you might want to consider. It's certainly very open-minded on their part, and I don't personally think that it's ever come back to bite them, and perhaps other employers should take notice of that, but it's a debate for another day. So other than Walmart, typically you're going to get hurt, you're going to settle your claim, they pay you whatever the settlement value is going to be, and you're going to go your separate way from the company. You're certainly free to take another job with any other company anywhere else in Connecticut or anywhere else in the world for that matter. You just can't go back to that employer. Now, in addition to the workers' compensation settlement, typically if the company, if you're separating from employment, they have to pay you consideration for that resignation. Consideration is basically the lawyer word for money, and typically what happens is they're going to pay you an additional $100 over and above the workers' compensation settlement, and that's to compensate you, that's to give you the consideration for giving up your job. Frequently they will have a resignation agreement that you sign. This sometimes happens in advance of the settlement approval hearing. Sometimes we have you sign them at the settlement approval hearing. But more often than not, in addition to all of the workers' compensation settlement paperwork that you're going to sign, there's also going to be a resignation agreement that you're going to sign from the employer. And again, as I indicated, you are entitled to some additional compensation, typically $100, to sign that agreement. The reason they do have you resign is so that you can't, after settling the workers' compensation claim, go and collect unemployment, claiming that they laid you off. If you resign, that's a voluntary resignation. You and the employer have agreed to go your separate ways, and there's not going to be any unemployment compensation paid. You got your workers' compensation settlement, and that's the end of it. Hopefully that's helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. You can call anytime in Farmington, 860-523-8783. You can take a look on our website, www.ctworkinjurylawyer. There's pages and pages of information on all sorts of workers' compensation topics there, and I welcome you to peruse that at your leisure. And again, if we can be of any kind of help to you in connection with your workers' compensation case, don't hesitate to ask. We are in Farmington, Connecticut, and I look forward to speaking with you. Have a good day.